Hello there, welcome back to my channel. EG here. Welcome to my new series. We're going to be doing author interviews, and we'll be talking today with the fabulous L L Thomsen, who is a fantasy author based in the UK. So without further ado, let's get started. So, hi, how are you? Welcome. Would you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Linda. I write epic fantasy, some call it high fantasy. I'm originally from Denmark, but I've been living in the UK now since a very long time, nearly half my life. I basically work in this office in the background here.
Lovely bookshelf.
Yeah, don't look too closely at those, they're very dusty. I've got two kids, one husband, which is nice, two cats, and a crazy Labrador dog.
Wow.
Basically, yeah, quickly been doing a little bit of everything, a bit of retail, a bit of went to university, done archaeology and prehistory, worked in bars.
Wow.
Bits and bobs like that. Never really found my shelf, which I'm sure is true for many people. And when our daughter was born about 10 years ago, I suddenly just had this flow of inspiration, and I just started writing and you know, sort of little bits and just moving all through, getting outwards, you know, things that were in my head. And then next thing you know, here I am. So,
Wow.
yeah, I love it.
Yeah, no, that sounds fantastic. That's quite the journey there.
Yeah. I wish I'd found my place in this sort of writing, you know, shelf, if you like, on this writing shelf a bit earlier, because I sure could have used with the additional time, you know. But you know, it just comes to you when it comes to you. So yeah.
Yes. So, have you actually published a book?
Yeah, what I've done is the last few years I've worked on quite a tome actually, and that was more or less finished about a little over a year ago. Apart from the latter part of it needed quite a bit, well, a heavy editing, should I say. So someone persuaded me that I should split it into sections, and so I did. So basically, what was one big book has now become about 11 volumes, or I call them episodes just because it's easy to relate to in terms of them linking together and, you know, as being one. But so far there's 7 out, and I'm just working on the 8th at the moment because yeah.
That's fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah. I wish I was further ahead with that as well, but don't we all? So there you go.
So can you tell us a little bit about all of these volumes, I guess, the overarching story?
Yeah, it's one big story. It's basically, it's a bit of high fantasy because it's very character-led. There's quite a few different characters in it. A lot of world building. So it becomes quite epic as well. It's basically, there's a few different stories in it. There's a bit of diary that happens, that's written from the point of view of one of the main characters called Solansi, and where she's come from and how she's ended up where she is and what her feelings are. And it's sort of all leading towards the final book when there's a big revelation as to why she's writing this particular diary. Then another part of it sits with sort of a circle of very sort of powerful beings, and the guardians, and they basically mind or watch guard the borders called the veils between the different realms, and they prevent the evil guys, which are basically mad gods, to enter the realms. However, unless these veils sort of get recalibrated once 1,000 years, there is the chance that they might fall and all have it loose. So that's the ongoing epic saga behind the whole thing, because obviously we're then joining it just where things are going a bit wrong and the veils are about to fall and this, that, and the other. So it's partly to do with the guardians and their journey into how they're going to prevent disaster. And then it's sort of back to Solansi, who's now an adult, and she's basically a bodyguard for her best friend, a princess called Alhambra, and they aren't on the best of speaking terms. They're having friendly problems. And you know, as it happens when you grow older and stuff, and you lose, you know, sort of touch with each other a little bit, and you have differences of opinions. So it becomes very much rooted just in the normal sort of, you know, I don't want you to do this because you're better than that, and oh no, I want to go out with this guy type of thing, you know, and so, but basically it all ties together because these two ladies are going to be part of what the Guardians are doing, and it all's good, basically winding up into this greater picture where suddenly they're going to go on this journey because they need to find a particular artifact, and it's a really big umbrella of things that are happening, but it will all tie together eventually. So this is sort of just in the beginning, if you like, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, I hope that didn't sound too novel.
I'm gonna have to go read all of those.
Oh no, yeah, please do. That'd be great. It's a funny thing because in the beginning I decided that I was going to try and change my own style and not be like everybody else, and there's a consensus where people either love it or hate it, and they love it for the same reasons as they hate it, but so, you know, I hope you would read them, and I hope you do like them, but no hard feelings, because I certainly know that it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I'm okay with that because that's just part of being a writer, isn't it?
Yeah. So what's your favourite part of being a writer?
Oh God, it's just the whole, you know, you get your imagination flowing, and one thing leads to another, and I love that sort of creative aspect where suddenly you're on one tangent and then suddenly you go, oh, actually, if I did this, and you start plotting and everything comes together, and you go, oh, but if he did that, he's got to do this, and I just love that sort of, the whole vibe that you get going, the excitement of spinning together the whole story.
Yeah.
But also just sitting down and writing it and getting it off my chest, because it takes up a lot of space in your head. But yeah, there's loads of different things about it, but that's definitely my favourite.
Yeah. Okay, least favourite part of writing, because everyone has it.
Yeah, the never-ending rewrites, the thing where you think, I've done it 3 times now, I don't need to do another time, this time it's perfect, and then you go back and read it after a while and you think, what the heck was I thinking? so that's just, you know, it's relentless, but you kind of just plod on, you know, you have to, because you're invested in the whole thing, but that's where that's hard slog, definitely. Yeah.
Okay, so within your story itself, what do you find the most difficult part to write? Like battle scenes, or just sitting and talking and sort of character development, or?
Yeah, I made a little deal with myself when I first started out, and thought to myself, I want to write something that I could publish. And it's a funny thing, but you know how life is obviously all around us, and I wanted to make it true to life. So I wanted to make it realistic, which means that what I tried to do is make it quite a visual read, you know. But some of the things that are in there, obviously there are a bit of romance. I find it really, really difficult to write scenes where people get affectionate with each other, and not just sit and laugh at myself, you know, because this is like these characters' life, and you're like thinking, oh my God, he's kissing, how am I going to write that, you know, oh my God. I mean, it you know, I hate those, that's really difficult, because I want to obviously not write it in a way that's going to make me cringe, but at the same time it's finding that golden line with yourself, how far can you go, what are you prepared to write, you know, and that's not easy.
No, definitely. I am the exact same way when it comes to that sort of thing, but most
yeah.
So you said you got into writing about the time your daughter was born. Is that just like, did it just happen, or is there someone who told you that you should write?
No, it's a weird thing, because going back to me saying that I never really knew what I wanted to do, but hindsight is a great thing because I think I got inspired. There was just something that sparked in me. You know, I was on maternity leave. You know, you're full of feelings when you have a child, and there's so many things happening within you, hormones and things floating about. And I think I just started seeing the world in a slightly different way, and you know, it sort of all came together like that. But looking back, um, if I say when I was about 10, 11, I used to scribble script like histories, you know, with, you know, fan fiction, if you like. You know, I'd be taking characters out of my favourite films at the time and mixing them up with a bit of, I don't know, bandit adventure and stuff, and, you know, and I somehow got away from that, and I somehow forgot how much I enjoyed doing that, thinking, oh, it's a kids thing, you know. And then suddenly, I guess, because I had the time off and I had the inspiration, I sort of realised I was just returning to what I'd already done years and years ago. And you think, well, you know, you should just have carried on with that. But of course, you don't do that, do you? It's not what you want to do at the time. So, but in hindsight, what silly thing, I should have carried on.
Yeah, definitely. So if you had advice for people who are, you know, trying to get into writing, what would you say?
Just go ahead and do it. Just write. You know, if you feel the urge that you want to sit down and put something on paper, just do it. You know, it can be anything, but the most important thing I find is just to sit down and write something. It doesn't have to be, you know, great, evocative, anything. It can just be, you know, take something you've dreamt, describe a scene you've you know, experienced whilst out driving, anything, because the more you write, the more you spark yourself into the right mindset, and that's when the ideas start coming to you. And, you know, I think there's two types of writers. There are people who know that they want to write something but don't know what, and there's people who suddenly get inspired, like myself, and I didn't particularly know what I wanted to write either, but I had an idea, and then I just took that and ran with it. But, you know, it didn't develop for quite a long time. But yeah, that's the best. Right, sit down and write. Don't think about it too much. Just go for it.
Yeah. Okay, now for some of the more light-hearted things. Do you have a favourite story or television show or movie that you wish you had written?
Oh God, yeah. It's got to be Game of Thrones, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just so hugely popular. I'm one of the geeky fantasy lovers that read the books when they were first out, and I just, you know, like everybody else, you just sort of think there are just certain things that seem to click at the right time, and I really think, wow, you know, to have done that and be part of that process.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So, would you rather have written the books or the television series?
Oh God, that's really hard because I think I would have probably have preferred to write the books because you know that's where the energy comes from, and that's where the stories come from. As a matter of fact, it's one of the few TV series as well that I followed the books very closely. So I think that might be why I take my hats off. Because usually they like to change it quite a lot, and I think, you know, that's not how it goes in the book, you know.
Yeah. I hate that.
So no, definitely that one. That's brilliant. But you know, I'm such a huge TV fan, and you know, recently been catching up on Marco Polo, and that's a brilliant TV series as well. You know, so I think it's unfair to say that there's one I'd choose over another one, but I definitely have an adventure aspect to things that I enjoy, and you know, wish I could have done. Yeah.
Do you have any writing rituals that you have to follow? You know, tea, or like chocolate beforehand?
Yeah, I've got my coffee. In fact, I've got my coffee right here. I don't want to drink in case it's splattered everywhere. Yeah, I've got most days I have to sit down with a cup of coffee next to me. It's just not quite right if I don't bring it up. I sort of, and I also like to check my emails first. I know that sounds really weird, but it sort of just gets me into the mood of things, and then there's also ticking a thing off the list, you know. But yeah, other than that, obviously at the moment, because I'm mostly just editing,
Yeah.
I try to do that for a couple of hours solid, and then I break off. I have a little mess about on social media and talk to people for a bit, and then I go back. So I sort of seem to hopscotch a little bit, which is my current thing, but it's not always how I work. It just develops. I think it depends on how tired I am, basically. But definitely the coffee is the going thing throughout it all.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I am a tea person, but I understand the need.
Yeah, no, I love tea as well. So I don't know. I think coffee's just become a bit of a, yeah, I have coffee in the morning, so that's why probably it flows that way. But yeah.
So, if you were to become the most successful author out there, what would that look like for you?
I really don't know because I can't imagine that. I would love to imagine it, and I could. Don't get me wrong, but I think I really don't know. I mean, obviously, yeah, it would be your dreams come true because at the end of the day, you write a story, you tell a story for an audience to read, and the more people who engage with that, and the more people who take their time and pick your work, pick your books.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's flattering, it's brilliant, it's what you work for, But there are just so many great writers out there, so many great authors. I can't really. I find it really difficult to imagine that I would be, up there with, I don't know, all the big ones. It's really surreal. So I just try and work my way and get what I can get. But yeah, it's just a practical flow. I try to stay grounded because if I start dreaming down, I'll come back down.
Oh, well, things will happen, they won't.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what will be will be. Yeah, would I love to sell hundreds and thousands of books? Of course I would.
I guess
Will it happen? Who knows? I mean, yeah, cross fingers, of course, but it just takes time. That's
So do you have any big plans for the next year? Do you have a book coming out, or just want to get one done?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a bit behind my little schedule out. The plan was that I would have had all my episodes of the first book out last year, basically, and I burned out a little bit. It just takes a bit of energy sometimes, doesn't it? So I got sidetracked just doing other things, and so plus really, I started out. I wrote, I threw it all out there. Typical writing mistake. Never thought of any sort of marketing or anything like that. So my goal for this year, and partly why I do sort of seem to get a bit distracted with things and things get pushed ahead, is just that I am trying to look at the picture here. I'm trying to look at how do I need to market my product to people, how do I get myself out there? And it's very much about being seen. I'm sure it is, and you have to sort of treat it a bit like a business. But so that's sort of what I'm hoping to develop this year, get a bit more savvy about the whole thing, if you like. But certainly, yes, I want to get the rest of the books out this year as well, which should be doable. There's 4 left, and like I say, we just need the heavy editing. So
yeah,
I think that should be.
That sounds great. 4 books a year is a lot more than I'm doing. So.
Well, I mean, it's like I said, it wasn't supposed to have been split up, so really, but it gave me a chance to crack on with it because I might still have just been editing the whole big tome if I hadn't done it that way. So there's plus and minuses about it, but part of me sort of regret a little bit that I did split it up because you can't present the whole big achievement in one go. So have a look at that.
Yeah, I heard a noise there.
Yeah, he's here. Oh, he's gone. No, I've got a tail. Oh.
So, for the last question, Do you have a favorite character within your story itself?
Well, you would ask that, wouldn't you?
I know it's sort of hard to choose, but
I sort of do, because I suppose I have I'm quite fond of Solansi because of the journey that she goes through, and also because she is the one character that was there from day one. Before I knew anything else about what I was going to write, I had this idea that I wanted to have this savvy, clever female character, bit kick-ass, but also a little bit screwed up. And all I did to begin with, I literally just wrote, this fight scene with her fighting a soldier, and I didn't really have a name for her or anything like that. So, but I knew it was her, and because it's developed from there, I feel as if she's the one that's closest to my heart, But yeah, I love them all individually because they've all added something to the story. So, I've probably got about, I don't know, 6 or 7 main characters, main points of view, and that flow throughout the story. So it's unfair to say that, they didn't do something to me as well, but definitely her because she's where it started. So.
No, it's great. So thank you so much for doing this. I am really interested to hear about your stories, and I will definitely link everything in the descriptions of the YouTube and send it off to the Facebook group as well as Twitter people and everyone else. All right, that's all I've got for you guys this week. I'm going to be doing these author interviews probably monthly, or maybe every 2 weeks or so, possibly every 3 weeks. So I'm just getting started. If you are an author and you're interested in being interviewed, please let me know. I would be happy to talk with you. I'm doing my very best to support and encourage other writers in the writing community to get out there and talk about their works, because there are a lot of people out there that I've never heard of and I really want to. So I'm doing my best to support you guys, and I hope you enjoyed this interview. It was great fun talking with her, and I am definitely going to go off and check out those books. So if you want any information, all of the links are in the description below, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.